Rakahallah Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Rakaha Kodash. Our double honors to my elders, apostles, and the bishops of Great Millstone, where I have learned this truth and where I am still learning this truth. And also shalom to the remnant and the elect of Israel. Lord willing, I'm of that number. Okay, so we're going to go back into Revelation 13 and verse 16 and do some more searching. All right, just go to the Google or whatever search bar and type in some words and see what we can get out of this. All right, so this is a warning that is in Revelation 13 that the Lord told us to give to you. Okay, Revelation 13 and 16, it reads, "And he causeth all, both small and great, rich and poor, free and bond, to receive a mark in their right hand or in their foreheads." All right, that he is the wicked Esau Edom, the self-called white man. Okay, does that mean that all people who look white are Edomites? No. Israelites are scattered into all nations. So we look like, walk like, talk like, and worship like these other nations. Okay? So we try the spirit. And, right, you have to be an actual Israelite. You have to go back to being an actual Israelite. You cannot just empathize with Israelites and think that you are a so-called spiritual Israelite. That's not how this works. All right, nor can you convert to being an Israelite. You have to already be an Israelite. So somewhere back in the bloodline, okay, yes, Israelites started off melanated. Okay, but this isn't a black thing. Okay, and even Canaanites were melanated, but they weren't Israelites. Okay, so this is not a black thing, a so-called black thing. This is not a so-called skin color thing. Okay, all right. Anyway, so the he is Esau Edom. Okay, the wicked, the man of sin. Okay, and he is going to cause all. So again, let's go to the interlinear and see what this word for causeth is.
Strong's G 4160, poieo. Poieo.
All right, poieo. At the bottom of the definition, all right, the poieo is the Greek word, all right, for he causeth. All right, you have to go further than the English to get understanding in this. All right, this is in the Apocrypha. This is the prologue of Sirach. Otherwise known as Ecclesiasticus. All right, this is not the full prologue. I'm just going to the point. All right, to point out the point being that English, you can't just think that reading this in English is going to get you all of the understanding that is being conveyed through these scriptures. All right, the Lord tells you to study to show thyself approved, a workman unto God. Let's go here first. Hold on. Study to show thyself approved, a workman that needeth not to be ashamed. Let me get this, man. Study to show thyself approved unto God, a workman that needeth not to be ashamed, rightfully dividing the word of truth. 2 Timothy 2 and 15. I think that was it that I just quoted, but man, let's go. I don't want to mess it up. 2 Timothy 2 and 15. Study to show thyself approved unto God, a workman that needeth not to be ashamed, rightly dividing the word of truth. All right, study. Okay, become a workman. All right, Revelation 1 and 3. Blessed is he that readeth, and they that hear the words of this prophecy, and keep those things which are written therein, for the time is at hand. But let me go back here to 2 Timothy. What cross-reference scriptures come up? Cross-reference scriptures that come up for 2 Timothy 2 and 15. This is Hebrews 4 and 11. Let us labor, therefore, to enter into that rest, lest any man fall after the same example of unbelief. Okay, if you don't go study these things, all right, that seed that the Lord has planted will get rooted up, all right, by the evil one. Okay, another scripture, 2 Peter 1 and 10. Wherefore the rather, brethren, give diligence to make your calling and election sure. For if ye do these things, ye shall never fail. What is diligence? Let's look at what diligence is.
Diligence.
All right, again, definitions from Oxford Languages. Diligence, it says noun, careful and persistent work. Careful and persistent work or effort. Okay? This is not just a read at your own convenience thing. Let me look at convenience definition. Convenience meaning. Okay? Convenience.
Convenience.
Noun, it says the state of being able to proceed with something with little effort or difficulty. All right, this is not that, and that is not this. All right, the Lord tells us to show diligence. All right, wherefore the rather, the 2 Peter 1 and 10 again, wherefore the rather, brethren, give diligence to make your calling and election sure. For if ye do these things, ye shall never fail. All right, Second Peter 1 and 15. Moreover, I will endeavor that ye may be able after my this ease to have these things always in remembrance. Or 2 Peter 3 and 14. Wherefore, beloved, seeing that ye look for such things, be diligent that ye may be found of him in peace, without spot and blameless. All right, let me look for some more. First Timothy 4, starting at 12. It says, let no man despise thy youth, but be thou an example of the believers, in word, in conversation, in charity, in spirit, in faith, in purity. Till I come, give attendance to reading, to exhortation, to doctrine. Neglect not the gift that is in thee, which was given thee by prophecy. Man. With the laying on of hands of the presbytery. Meditate upon these things, give thyself wholly to them, that thy profiting may appear to all. Take heed unto thyself and unto the doctrine, continue in them. For in doing this thou shalt both save thyself and them that hear thee. All right, so Lord willing, you get the point. All right, there's action in these things. All right, study, read, keep. Okay, give diligence. Okay, but this is the prologue of the book of Ecclesiasticus, or the book of Sirach. This is not the whole prologue. This is just to the point, speaking to. It's more than just these English words, man. If you read these English words and think you got it all, you're not even close. All right, it reads, "Wherefore let me entreat you to read it with favor and attention, and to pardon us, wherein we may seem to come short of some words, which we have labored to interpret. For the same things uttered in Hebrew and translated into another tongue have not the same force in them. And not only these things, but the law itself and the prophets and the rest of the books have no small difference when they are spoken in their own language." All right, so reading these things in English leaves the door open for interpretation. As far as people can spin their own stories around these things. But when you go back into the original languages, Hebrew, if you're in the Old Testament, Greek, if you're in the New, all right, and get the etymology of these words, you will see that all these things agree together. All right, it leaves no room for interpretation. Okay, no room for interpretation. All right, so again, 2 Timothy 2:15, "Study to show thyself approved unto God, a workman that needeth not to be ashamed, rightly dividing the word of truth." Okay. Revelation 1:3, "Blessed is he that readeth, and they that hear the words of this prophecy, and keep those things which are written therein, for the time is at hand." Let's see if we can get some more action words out of this. All right, Proverbs 8:34, "Blessed is the man that heareth me, watching daily at my gates, waiting at the posts of my doors." All right. Luke 11:28, "But he said, Yea, rather blessed are they that hear the word of God and keep it." All right, Revelation 22:7, "Behold, I come quickly. Blessed is he that keepeth the sayings of this." Revelation 22:7, "Behold, I come quickly. Blessed is he that keepeth the sayings of the prophecy of this book." All right, and this is Romans 13:11. "And that knowing the time, that now is high time to awake out of sleep, for now is our salvation nearer than when we believed." Hey. Man. Revelation 22:6, "And he said unto me, These sayings are faithful and true. And the Lord God of the holy prophets sent his angel to show unto his servants the things which must shortly be done." Man. All right. So, action. All right. don't just read these things in English and think that's it. You have to go further. Okay? So, Revelation 13. And 16. And he causeth all. Alright, again, let's go to the interlinear. He causeth is the Greek word.
Strong's G 4160. Poieo. Poieo.
At the bottom of the definition, it says to make ready, and so at the same time to institute. Right? Cause these problems so that you can give the solution when the time is at hand. Again, cause these problems so that when the time comes, these solutions will not fail. People will be ready to take it. All right? That's what this is pointing to. Okay? Let's go ahead and read that verse again. Revelation 13 and 16. And he causeth all, both small and great, rich and poor, free and bond, to receive a mark in their right hand or in their foreheads. All right, this word mark. Now let's go to this word mark. There are many definitions for the word mark, all right? In this case, it is this Greek word.
Strong's G 5480. Charagma. Charagma.
All right, charagma. It says a stamp, an imprinted mark. It says of the mark stamped on the forehead or the right hand as the badge of the followers of the Antichrist or people against the Messiah. All right. There are many Antichrists, but we're talking about this man, the wicked. The wicked. All right. Esau, Edom. All right. When you take this thing, it is a badge as a follower of him. Okay. Strong's definition of charagma. It says a scratch or etching. It says, i.e., stamp as a badge of servitude. Okay. Now, before we go further and search these things out, let's go. Let's see. Let's get this example of them telling you that you are going to have to make a pledge. All right, so many words. Give me a second. Okay. Here it is. This is from an article titled Considerations on the Great Reset and the New World Order. All right. Here's a quote in here from a guy named David Spangler. He was a director of the United Nations Planetary Initiative Project. Okay. He was quoted as saying, "No one will be part of the New World Order unless he carries out an act of worship to Lucifer. No one will enter the new age unless he receives Luciferian initiation. All right. What is he talking about here? Revelation 13 and 16. And he causeth all, both small and great, rich and poor, free and bond, to receive a mark in their right hand or in their foreheads. All right, and if you don't receive it, you won't be participating in society anymore. Okay, what did it tell you? That no one will take part in the new age unless you receive a Luciferian initiation or something like that. All right. Verse 17, Revelation 13 and 17. And that no man might buy or sell, save he that had the mark, or the name of the beast, or the number of his name. All right, so I hope you get the point. Lord willing, you get the point. So what we're going to do here is go back to search bar. Let's see. Let's type in let's type in oops. I typed in. Wait, let me fix this. I typed in countries with digital implants. All right, and this is what came up. It says showing results for countries with digital implants. All right. It says several countries are involved with digital implants, including Sweden, Germany, and the United Kingdom. All right, for Sweden, it says thousands of people in Sweden have microchips implanted in their hands to make their lives more convenient. All right, we went over that word convenient. Okay. It says the chips can be used to access homes, offices, and gyms. Now we talk about them trying to go present this thing as a convenience first, but believe me, threats will come. All right, and they won't be empty. Anyway, again, Sweden, it says thousands of people in Sweden have microchips implanted in their hands to make their lives more convenient. The chips can be used for access homes, offices, and gyms, pay for food and rail travel, store emergency contact information, store social media profiles, store e-tickets for events and rail journeys. So people are going to fall for this. They're not considering the Most High. All right, this is how simple people are. Convenience. All right, is going to get a lot of people to choose. All right, this badge of servitude, to receive this Luciferian initiation. All right, to go against the Lord, but the Lord isn't surprised. He made these people do this. All right. Another country says Germany. It says Germany is a key contributor to the Europe smart implants market. In 2022, Germany was expected to contribute more than 4% to the global smart implants market share. All right, this thing is worldwide, man. Worldwide. Another country, United Kingdom. It says Bioteq, that's Bioteq. Bioteq. United Kingdom. Bioteq, a company in the United Kingdom, is working to create contactless payments with implanted microchips. All right, it says other countries involved with digital implants include China, which conducted the first fully automated dental implant, India, which is a global leader in digital payments. Man. All right, I'm gonna read some headlines. It gives examples of headlines. Let's see. From Time Magazine, it says China. Robot conducts first fully automated dental implant. All right. NPR, it says thousands of Swedes are inserting microchips under their skin. That's from October 22nd of 2018. I'm going to click on this for a little bit because they show the first sentence. All right, some of this article I'm going to read. It says technology continues to get closer and closer to our bodies. From the phones in our pockets to the smart watches on our wrists, now for some people, it's getting under their skin. In Sweden, a country rich with technological advancement, thousands have had microchips inserted into their hands. The chips are designed to speed up users' daily routines and make their lives more convenient. Accessing their homes, offices, and gyms is as easy as swiping their hands against digital readers. They also can be used to store emergency contact details, social media profiles, or e-tickets for events and rail journeys within Sweden. So in the midst of this article, there's some more headlines. Wow. This article is titled "The Two-Way," or maybe that's what the article author company is or something. Anyway, it says Wisconsin company offers to implant chips in its employees. It reads, proponents of the tiny chips say they're safe and largely protected from hacking. But one scientist is raising privacy concerns around the kind of personal health data that might be stored on the devices. That is not what we are worried about, man. We are not getting this because the Lord warns about this. So they're going to get a lot of people to take this because they're going to say that they're now safe to take. You don't have to worry about any security threats as far as your personal health data being stolen. Anyway, it keeps reading. It says around the size of a grain of rice. The chips typically are inserted into the skin just above each user's thumb, using a syringe similar to that used for giving vaccinations. The procedure cost about $180. All right, so the root word of charagma is karox. All right, goes back to steak or pale, and it is what they are describing here. Okay. Using a syringe similar to that used for giving vaccinations. If you go to the community tab of this channel and scroll down, man, sooner or later you'll get to a picture of where it says the Bible predicted this thing 2,000 years ago, and you'll see a picture of the Karoks. All right. I think even the charagma is there. Okay. It says so many Swedes are lining up to get the microchips that the country's main chipping company says it can't keep up with the number of requests. Right? And since people like to keep up with the Joneses, you know, a lot of people are going to follow suit in different countries. Okay. This is another article. It says all tech considered. All tech considered. It says body hacking movement rises ahead of moral answers. It says more than 4,000 Swedes, doesn't give a date. It doesn't have a date. It says more than 4,000 Swedes have adopted the technology with one company, Biohax, Biohax, one word. Again, more than 4,000 Swedes have adopted the technology with one company, Biohax International. All right, we've talked about a couple of examples of companies that are going to make this technology popular. One was Walletmor, Walletmor, one word. And then also Neuralink or Elon Musk's brain technology. All right, those are just two examples. We've said before that if you think that those are the only names that you got to look for to think that it's the MOTB, you are wrong, man. You're being simple. They're going to push this out by many manufacturers, many names. They're going to call it many things. They're going to come at you many ways in order for you to get this thing. The main thing is that you've been warned at what it is. It doesn't matter what company pushes this thing out. Again, more than 4,000 Swedes have adopted the technology with one company, Biohax International, dominating the market. The chipping firm was started 5 years ago by Johan Osterland, a former professional body piercer. After spending the past 2 years working full-time on the project, he is currently developing training materials so he can hire Swedish doctors and nurses to help take on some of his heavy workload. Man. He's quoted as saying, having different cards and tokens verifying your identity to a bunch of different systems just doesn't make sense. Using a chip means that the hyper-connected surroundings that you live in every day can be streamlined. It says many early adopters come from Stockholm's thriving startup scene. Eric Frisk, a 30-year-old web developer and designer, says he was really curious about the technology as soon as he heard about it and decided to get his own chip in 2014. And he's quoted as saying it's just completely passive. It has no energy source or anything. So when you tap it against a reader, the chip sends back an ID that tells the reader which chip it is. Swedes are very pragmatic, and the chip is useful. What is that? Let's see what that is. Pragmatic. You may know, but I want to know.
Pragmatic.
Pragmatic. Definitions from Oxford Languages. Adjective. Dealing with things sensibly and realistically in a way that is based on practical rather than theoretical considerations. All right, so I guess they're trying to make you think that these people are smart. All right, so they're taking this chip. Swedes are very pragmatic, and the chip is useful. And since a lot of people know each other in the tech community, it is very, it says it's very tight. The trend has been spreading, and people have seen the benefits. All right, it reads when Frisk moved into a shared house earlier this year, he organized a chipping party for his new housemates. Now they're getting you with fun. All right, you can do this too. You can have a chipping party. Now they can access the 16th century building they share in Stockholm's Old Town by tapping their hands on a digital reader by the door. All right. Here's an article from Asia. India's biometric ID system has led to starvation for some poor, advocates say. All right, it says the chip basically solves many problems, says Sylvia Varzigi, 28, who also uses it to get into her co-working space. So this is somebody who uses a chip, all right, who has a chip also, all right. And she uses it to share her LinkedIn details at networking events, avoiding the need to spell out her name. That's how lazy people done got me. She doesn't even want to spell out her name. She simply touches another attendee's smartphone and the information is transferred. When another phone reads the chip, they see the link and they can open it in the phone browser. Sweden's largest train company has started allowing commuters to use chips instead of tickets. And there's talk that the chips could soon be used to make payments in shops and restaurants. I thought this was supposed to be talking about India's biometric ID system has led to starvation for some poor. It didn't even mention how she could get around signing her name. Hey man, these people don't care. They don't care. Yeah, let's read some more. Another one from All Tech Considered. There are plenty of RFID blocking products, but do you need them? All right. Okay, this is still that person that got the chip and didn't want to spell her name or something. Hold on. Yeah. This is a quote from her. I see no problem for it becoming mainstream. I think it's something that can seriously make people's lives better. All right, it reads on saying Australian believes that there are two key reasons microchips have taken off in Sweden. First, the country has a long history of embracing new technologies before many others and is quickly moving toward becoming a cashless society. In the 1990s, the Swedish government invested in providing fast internet service for its citizens and gave tax breaks to companies that provided their workers with home computers. And well, known tech names such as Skype and Spotify have Swedish roots. All right, here's another headline. It says facial scanning now arriving at U.S. airports. Anyway, so Osterlin is quoted as saying, which I don't know who Osterlin is. It's just still on the same article. It says the more you hear about tech, let's see if they mention starvation. The more you hear about technology, the more you learn about technology, the less apprehensive you get about technology. Technology, they said that 3 times. It says only 1 in 4 people living in Sweden use cash at least once a week. And according to the country's central bank, the Riksbank, the proportion of the retail cash transactions has dropped from around 40% in 2010 to about 15% today. Osterlund's second theory is that Swedes are less concerned about data privacy than people in other countries, thanks to a high level of trust for Swedish companies, banks, large organizations, and government institutions. And believe me, there's people in the United States that have a high level of trust for these banks and large organizations and government institutions. Anyway, it reads on. It says Swedes are used to sharing personal information, with many online purchases and administrative bodies requiring their social security numbers. Mobile phone numbers are widely available in online search databases, and people can easily look up each other's salaries by calling the tax authority. It says Osterlund says personal microchips are actually more difficult to hack than many other data sources because they are stored beneath the skin. They didn't say that you couldn't hack them. It said more difficult to hack. Everything is hackable, but the reason to hack them will never be bigger because it's a microchip. It's harder for someone to get to. It's harder for someone to get to since you put it in you, he says. There are few vocal critics of Sweden's microchip trend, and there is currently no national legislation regulating the growing industry. However, Ben Liberton, a British scientist based in southern Sweden, is among those starting a campaign for lawmakers to keep a closer eye on developments. What is happening now is relatively safe, but it's used everywhere. If every time you want to do something, and instead of using a card, use your chip, it could be very, very easy to let go of personal information, he says. Liberton, a trained microbiologist now working in science communication, says one of his main concerns is how the chips could be used to share data about our physical health and bodily functions. Because it is implanted in your body, when more health-related information starts being used and incorporated into the chip and being transmitted, that could create an extra layer of privacy that we really need to look at and take care before it's widely used, he says. Despite these concerns, there seems to be no let-up in the trend. One co-working space and innovation hub in Stockholm is holding a large implant party this month, where a tech startup, Disruptive, is promising to reveal the next generation consumer level implant. The device will include 2 KB of memory, double that of earlier implants, a range of new functions, an LED light designed to improve privacy by blinking if someone tries to read or access an implant. All right, I thought I was going to stop, but I'm right here at the end of the article. Osterlund says the tougher data privacy rules that came into effect across the European Union earlier this year as part of the General Data Protection Regulation could also help the microchip trend spread more rapidly. So they're already putting laws in place for this thing. This is a quote. It says, "It's the heaviest set of laws protecting individual integrity ever," he says of the rules which affect any organization handling personal information linked to EU residents. But Osterlund says the fact that this kind of regulation does not exist on a global level could delay the microchip trend elsewhere. I have a hard time seeing the rest of the world following GDPR anytime soon, but at least all of Europe, I mean one continent, it's a good beginning, he says. All right, so he's worried, but he's saying that this is a good beginning. Anyway, let's go get these other scriptures really quick. They're worried about data security. Okay, but let's read something really quick here. Revelation 14 verses 9 and 10. Actually, that's not what I'm looking for. Revelation 16 verses 1 and 2. The heading above verse 1 in Revelation 16 reads, 6 bowls of wrath. It reads, "And I heard a great voice out of the temple saying to the 7 angels, Go your ways and pour out the vials of the wrath of God upon the earth. And the first went and poured out his vial upon the earth, and there fell a noisome and grievous sore upon the men which had the mark of the beast, and upon them which worshipped his image." So when you get this thing, you're looking at a noisome and grievous sore, is what they call it in this verse, but let's see what else they call it. Foul and loathsome, horrible, malignant, noisome and grievous, evil and grievous, harmful and evil sore, foul and evil. Bad and grievous, ugly and festering sores, harmful and painful sores. All right, no boy is talking about getting doctors to help him handle his workload. All right, they don't care. They do not care. It's a means to an end for the wicked. All right, you're going to find out why he's called the devil and Satan and the wicked, the man of sin. As a matter of fact, that made me think of something else really quick. Let's go back. I think this was in Proverbs, but nope, it's in Psalms. All right, these people use the words of the Lord, man. They're not considering the Lord. They're just trying to, hey, an ends to a means. Or a means to an end, excuse me. All right, this is Psalm 50. Starting at 16, it reads, But unto the wicked God saith, What hast thou to do to declare my statutes, or that thou shouldest take my covenant in thy mouth? Seeing thou hatest instruction, and casteth my words behind thee. All right, and down at 20. Actually, I'll do 19. Thou givest thy mouth to evil, and thy tongue frameth deceit. Let's get that word, frameth.
Strong's H 6775. Samad. Samad.
To bind, join, fasten. Strong's definition of samad says to link, i.e., gird, figuratively, to serve. Man. Join, self, right? Serves your tongue serves deceit, man. Your tongue is joined to the, and it said, but unto the wicked God saith, right? Up there in 16. Anyway, verse 17, thou sittest and speakest against thy brother, thou slanderest thine own mother's son. Now, this is speaking of the wicked, Esau Edom, who was Jacob's brother. All right, well, I'm going to jump down here to, actually, I'm going to just keep reading. Verse 21 now. These things hast thou done, and I kept silence. Thou thoughtest that I was altogether such an one as thyself, but I will reprove thee, and set them in order before thine eyes. It's that manifest destiny. They think the Lord is working with them, okay? There was a saying, I think it's on the back of the dollar bill, I can't think of, Anuit Coeptus. I think that's it, but don't quote me on that. All right, but you can look that up though. Anuit Coeptus. What does that mean? Actually, here we can go there now. Anuit Coeptus meaning. That's it. Anuit Coeptus is one of the two models on the reverse side of the Great Seal of the United States. The literal translation is, He favors or has favored our undertakings. All right. So they think that the Lord is back in Psalm 50 and 21. These things hast thou done, and I kept silence. Thou thoughtest that I was altogether such an one as thyself. All right, Anuit Coeptus. But I will reprove thee, and set them in order before thine eyes. All right.
Reprove.
Definitions from Oxford Languages, verb, reprimand. All right. Or censure. What is this?
Censure.
Censure. Definitions from Oxford Languages, verb, express severe disapproval of someone or something. Okay? That's what he's going to do with you, man. Esau, Again, Psalm 50 and verse 21, I'm going to read it again. These things hast thou done, and I kept silence. Thou thoughtest that I was altogether such an one as thyself, but I will reprove thee and set them in order before thine eyes. All right, we're going to be, or you're about to be reproved, man, by the Lord. You think he with your bullshit? He ain't, man. All right, Psalm 50 and 22 now. Now consider this, ye that forget God, lest I tear you in pieces, and there be none to deliver. All right, let me verse 23. Whoso offereth praise glorifieth me, and to him that ordereth his conversation aright will I show the salvation of God. All right, who ordereth his conversation aright? That's what we do to the best of our ability. All right, that word conversation, that isn't talking about not using cuss words. All right, it's talking about living in these in the right way. All right, in this light, in this truth. The law, statutes, and commandments to the best of our ability, obeying all things in these scriptures to the best of our ability. And there's more things in these scriptures than laws, statutes, and commandments, all right? Than laws, excuse me. So let me read that again in the NLT. Starting at 16 again, Psalm 50 and 16. But God says to the wicked, why bother reciting my decrees and pretending to obey my covenant? Y'all don't see that he uses the words of the Lord, and then does the opposite. Y'all just fall right into it, man. Psalm 50 and 17 now. For you refuse my discipline and treat my words like trash. Whew. All right. And Psalm 50 and 19. Your mouth is filled with wickedness, and your tongue is full of lies. You sit around and slander your brother, your own mother's son. All right, this is what he's done to the remnant of Jacob. All right, the daughter of Israel, the Israelites. Psalm 50 and 21. While you did all this, I remained silent, and you thought I didn't care. But now will I rebuke you, listing all my charges against you. All right, and I just seen a video from Elder Tahar, Elder Apostle Tahar. All right, and he showed a clip from Piers Morgan with Jaguar, right? This lady, I can't think of her name. She was an attorney, and Vlad. All right, and all these things that all right, accused Puffy of. All right, all these things, all these charges that Puff P Diddy is being, all these charges that are being brought up against him, are all charges that Esau, all right, that would be brought against Esau in the end. Everything that you've ever brought up in your courtrooms, all right, using your magistrates, okay, are going to be brought up against you from the Lord, man. Anyway, a couple more and then we'll shut this down. Psalm 50 and 21 again. While you did all this, I remained silent, and you thought I didn't care. But now I will rebuke you, listing all my charges against you. Repent, all of you who forget me. All right, speaking to you Israelites. Okay? Or I will tear you apart, and none will help you. But giving thanks is a sacrifice that truly honors me. If you keep my path, I will reveal I will reveal to you the salvation of God. All right. So that was just a little touch on Revelation 13 and verse 16. Do not take this charagma. Do not take this mark of the beast. Do not take this micro C hip. Do not take this RFID C hip. All right, there's no good coming of it. Nothing nice. All right, so call halal Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Rakaha, Kodash. Double honors to my elders, apostles, and the bishops of Great Millstone, where I have learned this truth and where I am still learning this truth. And also shalom to the remnant and the elect of Israel. Lord willing, I am of that number. And Lord willing, we'll see you again in the next video. Shalom.